Let's get to this story now. Mozambican opposition leader Venancio Mondlane is back home. He left the country after the October 2024 election that triggered violence for weeks. In December, the highest court declared the ruling party, Frelimo, the winner of that election. And that's despite observers pointing to irregularities. Let's have a conversation now with Andre Mulungo, who's part of the Center for Democracy and Human Rights. Andre, thank you so much for the time. Let's just unpack this. What is the return of the opposition leader, Venancio Mondlane, mean then for peace as well then as a peaceful transition of power or peacefulness with regards to the ruling of Frelimo?
Thank you. As you said, Venancio Mondlane finally returned to Mozambique, as himself said 8 days ago. But let me give you a scenario that we are living now, even before Venancio Mondlane landed in Maputo International Airport. Since yesterday, what we saw and what we is that the security was reinforced in Maputo International Airport and all the areas around the Maputo International Airport. Venancio Mondlane landed in Maputo around 8 o'clock, but at 7 o'clock, we saw a movement of citizens, the supporters of Venancio Mondlane walking to receive Venancio Mondlane, and the police blocked the access to Maputo International Airport just to avoid those citizens to receive Venancio Mondlane. And it caused 2 deaths. It means that the 2 citizens was shot by the police before and after Venancio Mondlane arrived here in Mozambique. This scenario was very tense here in Mozambique, with police killing, but also with police injuring citizens. Mondlane is now in Mozambique. Now the situation is a little bit calm. We don't know where Mondlane is. But what we know is that he is in a secret place. The meaning of this return of Venancio Mondlane is for us as a CDD, as an institution that deal with democracy and human rights, that this is a light, or this is a line of a dialogue that is going to take us for a peace here in Mozambique. As you know, since 21st October, we live a scenario of protest and a violent response from the police that resulted in more than 100 citizens killed by police, 100 citizens arrested, and also 100 citizens injured by the police. So this is cause a situation of human rights violation, and as I said, there's an institution that deal with democracy and the human rights. We are very concerned, and with Venancio Mondlane here in Mozambique, we believe that we have created a condition for a dialogue with all the candidates that he was part of the elections. Venancio Mondlane, as you know, he left Mozambique because he said that he was facing threats.
Yes.
He was afraid of being killed, but also he said that he was afraid of being detained because the justice here a moving process against him. So if he is here in Mozambique, he can show the 2 things. The first one is that maybe there are an agreement that we don't know that able Venancio Mondlane to be in Mozambique. Sure. Why I'm saying this? I'm saying this because the government openly said that Venancio Mondlane must be detained and must be responsible by the destruction of the public and private institutions. So if he is here, we believe that maybe there is an agreement.
Yeah.
On the other hand,
Andre, allow me to interject there. I'm so sorry, but I need to just find out then, could Venancio Mondlane then be facing some sort of police action of any kind because he hasn't necessarily spoken out vehemently against the protest or tried to stop them, for example, in other words, actually tried to encourage some of those protests because he believes that they've been irregular. But it's all gone through the courts, unfortunately, which means that he might not have any further leg to stand on. So could there be some ramifications for Mondlane here?
What I can say is that Mondlane here in Mozambique is running a risk for being detained and also is running a risk for being killed. As you know, our regime is a very bad regime. Venancio Mondlane, actually, he left Mozambique because he was facing threat. We had here in Mozambique a late leader of a former rebel movement called Renamo, Afonso Dhlakama. Afonso Dhlakama faced threats for during his life here in Mozambique. We have situations that the government called Afonso Dhlakama for a dialogue, and suddenly they decided to surround a place where Dhlakama was by the police. So, being here, what we see is that he is running risk. So, as I said before, if Venancio Mondlane is here in Mozambique, maybe there is an agreement that give him a hope or a belief that he can be in Mozambique, that he will not be detained and he will not be killed. Maybe there is an intervention by international community, but we don't know exactly what's going on and what the.
Okay, and Andre, what we've then seen is Venancio Mondlane saying that he's back in the country in order to negotiate. Does Daniel Chapo, the leader of the Frelimo party, who of course have been the rightful winners or have declared the rightful winners then of this election, do they have to then negotiate or speak to Venancio Mondlane and the Podemos party at all?
Today, let me explain something. Today we have a meeting between Filipe Nyusi, the actual president that is about to leave, with the leader of MDM, the leader of Podemos. Podemos is the party that supports Venancio Mondlane, the leader of Renamo, a former rebel movement, and the leader of Nova Democracia. But this meeting for the citizens of Mozambique, and also with Daniel Chapo, the candidate of Frelimo party. But this meeting represents nothing for the citizens. Why? Because what we saw and what we hear from the citizens is that Venancio Mondlane won the elections. If we need the peace, if we need a negotiation that they are going to give hope for the citizens that something is going to change, it's necessary to have Venancio Mondlane in these negotiations, in those kind of meetings. It's necessary to engage Venancio Mondlane. Now, Venancio Mondlane is a legitimate representative of the citizens. So if we have meetings without Venancio Mondlane, nothing is going to happen. So that's why we believe that the presence and the return of Venancio Mondlane can be a light or can be a way that we are going to have negotiations. If we don't have negotiations, we are running a risk even to go into a civil wars, because the citizens are saying that they want Venancio Mondlane to be in charge because they believe that they are saying that they voted in Venancio Mondlane and they believe that Venancio Mondlane won the election. So now what is important is we truly believe that on 15 January next week, Daniel Chapo, declared by the Constitutional Council as a winner of the election, he is going to be in charge. But after that, is any obligation for Daniel Chapo to engage Venancio Mondlane for a dialogue. Without this dialogue, exactly between those two guys, Daniel Chapo and Venancio Mondlane, we want to have peace. The leader of Renamo, the leader of MDM, the leader of ND, we respect them, but they don't represent the Mozambicans. They don't represent those who are in the street protesting, Venancio Mondlane is the one that has a power now, or is the important one. Now, if you want to talk about negotiations, we have to consider this.
Andre, let me ask you a final question then, Andre. Just what is it that is being said to yourselves and perhaps to the parliament and government overall then from neighboring countries, neighboring human rights watchers as well, even just broader community? Are you hearing anything that will lead to further negotiation, further work with regards to this? Yes, the courts have declared Frelimo and Daniel Chapo to be the leader, but are you hearing anything with regards to whether there will be further negotiations and conversations being had here?
Negotiations from where? From the neighbors?
Indeed. So other neighboring countries, whether it be South Africa, all of those around as well, would they be looking to assist, help, or be part of the negotiations between Frelimo as well then as Venancio Mondlane, who is held then by Podemos as well? Any conversations like that?
The president of South Africa, Cyril Ramaphosa, said that is available for a negotiation because they understand that the instability in Mozambique affects also South Africa. Now the problem is that the Venancio Mondlane and the majority of the citizens, they don't trust in South Africa as well. They don't trust. They don't trust in SADC. Why? As you know, even before the announcement of the result from the National Commission of Elections, President Ramaphosa and the President Mnangagwa, they sent a letter for Daniel Chapo congratulating him and congratulating as well Frelimo ruling party for winning the election. And the question is how those guys that congratulated Frelimo ruling Frelimo ruling party and Daniel Chapo even before the announcement and also even before the proclamation of the result from the Constitutional Council are going to play an important role. The Mozambicans and also Venancio Mondlane, they don't look confident of the role of Cyril Ramaphosa and also the role from SADC, because they look to SADC and they look to Ramaphosa and they look to Mnangagwa as a friend of Frelimo ruling party. All of them are parts that liberate the country, so they look each other as a brother. The sense that we have is that the SADC and the South Africa and the other countries are with Frelimo. So the opposition leaders, Venancio Mondlane, is not confident. But what we see is that South Africa is very interested in peace in Mozambique because, as I said, the instability here in Mozambique affects economic South Africa because of their investment here in Mozambique.
Look, it certainly affects the region as a whole as well, and I think Southern Africa should be looking at this more broadly and really be concerned if there isn't any peaceful sort of sense of power with regards to Mozambique. Andre, we appreciate your time this afternoon. Thank you so much then for joining us. Andre Mulungo is he's from the Center for Democracy and Human Rights then in Mozambique. They're joining us to give us the latest with regards to that as the opposition leader, Venancio Mondlane, returns back to Mozambique then. His location, however, not yet known.